there are always places on the map that seem to keep their secrets closely guarded, as if they're waiting for the right traveler to discover them. Today, we're diving into a land where ancient forests blend with cities that have been rebuilt again and again. For the next few minutes, we'll explore a country that will surprise you with its mix of tradition and grand architecture. And stick around until the end to find out why this European country is unknown to so many Europeans, and why it's the most isolated on the old continent. Welcome to Belarus. We start our journey at number 5 with a city that, since it was founded in the 13th century, has been a quiet star in invasions, rebuilds, and agreements that shaped Eastern Europe. We're talking about Brest. Its important location made it a key spot for different empires, and even today, it still has that border energy that gives it a special feel. The heart of Brest beats at the Brest Fortress, the scene of amazing bravery during World War II. It costs €3 to get in and lets you explore tunnels, monuments, and areas where the signs of the war still seem fresh. The huge entrance with its star cut into concrete has become one of the most photographed symbols in the country. A short walk away, you'll find the Railway Museum, where they show off locomotives that are over 100 years old. Entry is about €4, and it's a dream for anyone who loves engineering. It's cool how some of these machines, even after all this time, can still be started up thanks to award-winning restorations. The pedestrian street Sovetskaya has a chill vibe with traditional cafes where you often see families trying draniki, one of the most popular dishes made from grated potato. Very close by is the Belovezhskaya Nature Reserve, one of Europe's oldest forests, home to the amazing European bison, which almost disappeared and whose comeback is seen as a big win for nature saving. Coming in at number 4 is Grodno, one of the country's oldest cities, with roots going all the way back to the 11th century. Its history is marked by an amazing mix of cultures. Poles, Lithuanians, Jews, and Belarusians left behind an architectural blend that's hard to find anywhere else. Its most famous gem is the old castle, built during the time of the Grand Duchy of Lithuania. Entry costs €5 and lets you explore rooms that tell stories of centuries of fights for control of the region. Just a few steps away stands the new castle, an 18th century palace that served as a royal home, and its entry also costs €5. One of the most photographed spots is the Cathedral of St. Francis Xavier, a Baroque masterpiece that really wows you with its huge front. It's free to go in, though many visitors leave a small donation to help keep the church running. The streets around the old town are surprisingly clean, a feature that has made Grodno one of the neatest cities in Eastern Europe. The Grodno Zoo, started last century, is the oldest in the country and has over 300 different kinds of animals. Entry costs €4. Some of its animal protection programs have won international awards for successfully breeding rare species in captivity. The city is also known for its baking traditions, passed down from Polish and Lithuanian influences, so trying a sękacz, a layered cake cooked over a fire, is pretty much a must for any traveler. Halfway down our list, we have Polotsk, which many consider the spiritual heart of Belarus. Founded in the 9th century, it's thought to be the oldest city in the country, even mentioned in old medieval writings that talk about how important it was as a political and trading center. Polotsk's main treasure is St. Sophia Cathedral, a building that reminds us of the big cathedrals in Kiev and Novgorod. The entrance costs €3, and that includes going into a concert hall where a huge organ brings musicians from all over Europe. The sound in there is so special that it's used for professional recordings. Walking through the center, you'll find the Printing Museum, located in a building from the 16th century. For €2, you can learn how the first books in the region were made and discover Franciszek Skarina, one of the pioneers of printing in Eastern Europe. It's amazing how this small museum keeps alive techniques that are over 500 years old. Another famous spot is the stone marker that shows the geographic center of Europe, a detail many visitors like to take pictures of. Even though other countries also claim to have this title, Polotsk's spot was figured out using modern ways, and it fits right into the city's look. Before you leave, you really should try the homemade kvass, a traditional fermented drink that locals especially enjoy in the summer. Our journey continues with Vitebsk, a city that buzzes with art, history, and festivals. It started way back in the 10th century, and since then, it's been the home of important people like Marc Chagall, whose art left a big mark on the area's culture. The Marc Chagall House Museum is one of the city's main symbols. It costs €4 to get in, and you can walk through rooms that show off the painter's personal items and early works. A few blocks away is the Chagall Art Gallery, where entry costs €5, and you can see temporary exhibits by famous international artists. The Old Town is topped by the Church of the Annunciation, rebuilt using old methods after it was destroyed last century. It looks so much like the original that it got international awards for its restoration. It's free to get in. Vitebsk is famous for the Slaviansky Bazaar Festival, one of the biggest music events in Eastern Europe, which brings in thousands of visitors every year. During these times, the city fills with colors, street shows, and craft markets that completely change the vibe. Along the Dvina River, there's a walkway that offers some of the most amazing sunsets in Belarus. Many travelers take the chance to try vereshchaka, a traditional pork dish usually served with dark bread. Now we come to the top spot, Minsk, the most visited city in Belarus. It was founded in the 11th century, but it was almost completely destroyed during World War II. Then, it was rebuilt in a grand style, which makes it stand out among other European capitals. You can start your visit on Independence Avenue, which is one of the longest avenues in Europe. Here you'll find government buildings, theaters, and huge public squares. The Great Patriotic War Museum is a must-see. It costs €6 to get in, and it has interactive displays, tank exhibits, and stories that remind you of the country's brave fight. The Island of Tears, a small monument on the Svisslok River, really touches many visitors. It remembers the soldiers who died in the war in Afghanistan, and its main sculpture is thought to be one of the most moving modern artworks in the country. Gorky Park, which is free to enter, has everything from Ferris wheels to ice skating areas. Very close by is the National Library, and it costs €3 to go up to the panoramic observation deck. Its unique diamond shape has made it one of the most photographed buildings in Eastern Europe. The Upper Town, which is one of the few areas that survived the war, still has 17th century churches and small squares where you can try local dishes like machanka, which is served with thick pancakes. Minsk is also known for having some of the cleanest subway systems on the continent, which really surprises people who use it for the first time. Even though it's right in the middle of the continent, Belarus is still one of the most unknown countries to most Europeans. It's not on the usual tourist maps, its language and history aren't widely known, and its international image has been overshadowed for decades. The result is that, for many, it just doesn't exist in their mental picture of Europe. It's also called Europe's most isolated country because of its closed political system, its strong internal controls, and its close ties with Russia. Sanctions, limited media freedom, and lack of integration have created a bubble where time moves at a different pace, making it feel even more disconnected from the rest of the continent. And so concludes this first part of our journey through the wonders of Belarus. Each city holds its own mix of history, traditions, and surprises that reveal an identity much richer than many imagine. If you'd like us to continue exploring fascinating destinations like these, your support always makes a difference. We'll see you on the next adventure, where we'll discover other incredible places. Until the next trip.